crooked chopping block thing that's really been annoying me for like 2 years. I think I've literally been using the same chopping block for like a long time. I don't know if it's been a couple years, but well yeah, like years I've been actually using a chopping block right here. I just don't know how long I've been using this one. Right in the same spot. I chop wood pretty much every single day, usually first thing in the morning. But what's annoying is this, moving around. I'll have it over here. Sometimes it'll fall over. It's never level. So it makes it tough to split wood because the thing's leaning and falling off. I was thinking I'm gonna get the fire going really nice because I got some chicken to cook for lunch. It's about lunchtime now, so it might not be lunch anymore when it's done. But I was thinking, see, it just falls off. I was thinking I could fix this situation since I built my deck, built my table, kind of hooking this place up. I would actually like to have a level block here, or a chopping log here that doesn't like fall, stays in place, and it stays level. That's what I'd really like. So I think I might spend a little bit of time doing that while I'm working on cooking some lunch. See, that's so annoying. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to split that one anymore. That was a tough one. This chopping log here, I really don't know what kind of wood this is. I really need to take the time to look it up. It's got like a red color to it. I'll show you. I actually have a couple of nice logs in the back that I've been saving because it's very hard wood. When it's dry like this, it sticks in there great. When it's dry, it's very hard. I've been chopping at this same block for at least, it's got to be at least a year that I've been using this block. So I definitely want to use the same kind of tree. That big old fire, it barely did anything to this stump. This would take me a long time to burn. I think we should have plenty of time to do that while we're out here building this thing. We ain't getting back to it quite yet, but I can promise when I do get back to it, we're going gung-ho, and we're gonna be working very hard on it. My 3 super hard heavy logs that I've kept up off the ground. This is the biggest one right here, the fattest. Like, you can't even stick a axe head or the blade in it when it's wet. And then it dries and it kind of heals up from it getting wet. It's like when it gets wet, it almost heals it and makes it hard again. Cut a slice off of it. See how it looks after we cut it. super hard and bad on the tin. Seems like I remember cutting it fresh and it had some, like a real deep red. That looks very good to me. I think we're gonna definitely use this. So I think I want to put this in the ground quite a bit, at least 6 inches to a foot. I think my other block is only about 16 inches. So I'm gonna go ahead and go 32. That way I can put part of it in the ground, at least, you know, close to a foot. And then we'll have quite a bit sticking up because I want it taller than the other one, a little taller, so I don't have to bend over as much. And then after that, I think I'll mark this again and cut it perfectly level. That would make my life really nice. So I'm just gonna cut this thing at 32 just to give us a little bit of extra to play with. I definitely need to sharpen that thing now, especially before I cut my top level. I'll definitely have to sharpen that up. I could have swore it had some red in it. Maybe that's just when it's a lot more alive and wet. See if we can get this in here. All right. All right. Cool. Now we need post hole diggers. There's a close look at the grain. Very, very hard, nice wood. I would love to make a table or something out of some of this. I do think that wood is the same kind as this. It's like these trees. Whoa. See? They stand forever. They just stand there forever, and it's like I would bet this tree has been dead for, I mean, I couldn't even tell you how long. But here's the bark off of this tree. So I think this is identical species right here. I think this is it. I don't know what kind of tree that is. So if anybody knows, we got this one here that I had near a fire, and look, it barely burnt. When the other logs I had around the fire pit already burned up, they were catching on fire, and I ended up burning them because I had a square made here. And look, that one actually resisted the heat. And then here's another piece. It's been here ever since we bought this land. It's just been laying here, just like that. Like exactly the same. It hasn't changed. That one's really heavy too. Like, this is a really cool, interesting wood to me. I think that might be the top of it laying there. There's the stump of it. And I didn't finish cutting it because it was just murdering my freaking chain, you know, so I just left it here because I didn't want to cut it anymore. So I'd love to have a couple of living ones on the property that I could use for some projects. That'd be pretty cool. Let's get on with our lunch and life. We're just gonna kind of bake this chicken. Right on this rack. And then I think I'm gonna slice up some pineapples and put it on top. And then we'll just go with it. Let it bake for a while. And then I got some sauce to put on it. Wow, this is super hard right here. Very hard. Usually I put it up here, then it ends up working its way down towards the fire. So I want it stationary. I think this right here. That's a lot of dirt. Oh yeah, I can move it. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. Sound a little warm in there. So I'm gonna put this on top. Big old fat slices of pineapple. Alright. Saying 17 inches on the post. Probably dug in an inch or two, so. But we're definitely over a foot. I know that much. So that should be plenty. Oh yeah. Oh, that's like on right there. Oh yeah, that's super close. That's what we're going with right there. Just like that. That is it. This is gonna take away so much aggravation. I can't even tell you. These small little upgrades I'm doing to this place is just makes my life so much happier and easier. It's nice for some things in your life to just be a lot less work, so you can focus on other work. Because that's about all I do since I've been here is work. So any little thing to just make sure other work easier. And I love it. I've never been happier in my life. This is, I love this. Make it more comfortable. And I do the things that are possible. I have things that I really want done that are not possible for me to do yet. So I really just focus on the things that I can do, what I can build, and I just put the things in the best order that I know how, that I know I can accomplish. I plan on the future paying for some of the things that I can't do right now. The more you do, the more you entertain, the more you build up. One business is going to support another business. And then possibly in the future, maybe one day, you build it up enough to where you could have a home or whatever you want in the future. But sometimes you have to focus on what you can do now, and then you just pray that the Most High is going to bless you with what you need and reward you for your dedication and your hard work and not worrying about the things that you can't control. And then before you know it, you got a solid foundation, and then you can have more fun, you know. So that's the way I see it. That's the way I've looked at it for the 3 years I've been here. Starting with raw land that you could barely walk into, now it's been opened up to where it's a whole lot more comfortable and nice. And then you build your decks and your tables and your shelters, and then you just keep moving forward and forward and forward. And then one day you might have a super nice house out here, or the Most High will bless you to where you could have another house somewhere else and have your fun place. You know, that's the way I've looked at this the whole time. I love the challenges. I love what I'm going through. I love being out here and it being hard and sleeping in the cold and sleeping in the heat, working during the heat, and then you got your break during the winter where you can clothe up. And I love this struggle. I really enjoy it, and I make the best of it. I think that's what the Most High wants for me, is to struggle, become stronger, become more mentally stronger. It's just what makes me feel good and makes me happy. I've had people talk about me going back to trucking and stuff, and I still have my CDL. I could go trucking and make it easy, have easy work and sit on my butt and get zero exercise and deal possibly more than likely 90% of the trucking jobs that you get. You're gonna be working with someone unhealthy that's not happy and that doesn't want you to be happy, doesn't want to give you the runs that want to make you happy. They want to give you everything that makes you unhappy. So then you come home to your life and you're unhappy. You have plenty of money, but your relationships suck. You know, you're going to a place where you're not happy, doing something that doesn't make you happy for someone that could care less if you're happy. So, you know, you have choices. You could struggle and be happy, and financially you can struggle a little bit. Since I've been doing this and quit trucking, I've noticed, just like while I was trucking and the whole thing was a struggle, I had my truck breaking down all the time, stuff happening, always doing maintenance. I was always working on my truck when I wasn't even working. When I started trucking when I was 20, I really wish I would have started something like this when I was 20 and actually been on an adventure and building stuff and turning trees into buildings and stuff that makes you have more accomplishment, you know. And I'm not saying everybody should do that and that's for everyone, but I have a lot of people kind of saying what I should do, what I need, and stuff like that. And I just don't agree with all of that, you know. I wasn't trucking too long, I didn't own my own truck yet. It was like bought my first chainsaw, my Stihl MS 250 when I was working for this company. I was doing trips from Norfolk to Florida like a few times a week. And I was working so much that I literally stopped talking to all my friends and stopped hanging out with all my friends because I was working so much. And I was doing like 3 trips down to Florida. And I was running pretty illegal. I actually got a lot of good compliments from the company because I was really good at lying on my log. I mean, I even had a dude that I was working for ask me if I would do classes to teach people how to do their logs. Because to do the job that I was doing, going to Florida that many times, which the owner of the company would call it cowboy trucking, but he never really seemed to want to pay you to do that cowboy trucking. When I was working for that company, they actually ended up blackballing me with another company after I quit because I was just so sick of their shit, them pushing me. And it got to a point to where they were getting in trouble because not everybody really knew how to make those logs look as good as they should. Kind of hard to do when you're driving way more than you're supposed to, and then you have to log your fuel and make your fuel times match up to your receipts. So that's kind of what would get you. I had a way of switching things around and making it look like I was going another way than I was going, and I just had a real good technique about it. Me and another buddy of mine, we just knew how to make it work, and you couldn't prove any otherwise. So once I started kind of getting on the company about their problems they were having with these impossible runs they were doing, I got in a confrontation with who I was working with that still wanted to push me. They wanted you to drive legal, but still do these runs and make it possible. Legitly legal, which was impossible. But anyway, that company ended up screwing me over. As much as I did for them, kind of like some relationships I've been in, as much as I did for them, they wanted to, instead of rewarding me for that and helping me out and returning the favor and helping me get another job and move on, they actually blackballed me and were saying some pretty bad stuff about me and stopping me from moving on and getting other jobs. That's really not even what I was trying to talk about. Really, what I wanted to say is I had bought my first chainsaw while I was working with that company because I stopped at this place and I was sleeping there. I found me a nice place where I was sleeping and I could take my break. I could buy me a 22-ounce beer and drink it before I went to sleep or whatever and hang out and watch some videos. And the reason I even say that about 22 ounces is because that's what happened one day is I bought me a 22-ounce beer, and instead of hanging out in the parking lot like usual, I decided to take a walk in the woods. The property that I was on had a bunch of cedar trees out there, and they were all grown up and just bushy everywhere. So call it what you want. You can call it stealing, or you can call it a good deed that I went out there and thinned out their property for them. Hey, I was in my 20s. I decided to buy me Stihl MS 250 because I had just started buying a bunch of woodshop tools. I bought me a nice table saw. I had a really nice apartment with a garage on it. Only God knows how much I was paying for that place. Probably at least $1,200 a month, plus electric and who knows what else. So I started building me a little wood shop in my garage, and I just seen these nice cedar trees out on this property, and I just started going out there, and I was cutting them down. Every time I stopped there, instead of hanging out drinking a beer, I started taking a chainsaw out there and just practicing freehanding. I wasn't doing long boards like I'm doing here and like actually milling lumber. I was just cutting trees and turning it into blocks of wood to use on the table saw and the bandsaw. And that's kind of when I started really getting into woodworking and making stuff. Besides, you know, like wood shop in school, or working with my grandpa or uncle or my stepdad, which I learned a whole lot from in my life. I know God put a lot of my talents in me, but he also had me grow up with a lot of carpenters. And I learned a lot from my stepdad and my grandpa. Even my cousin taught me a whole lot of stuff too when I was a kid. But anyway, it was just kind of my passion, and that's what I was going for. But really, what I'm saying is, instead of wasting almost 20 years of my life just trucking and driving myself so much and working so much that I actually lost my friends that I had because I abandoned them over working all the time. And at the time I was paying child support. I had my daughter, more relationship stuff that was like torture. I just wish I would have did this when I was younger. I wish I would have had this in me and started doing this type of stuff when I was just a younger man, full of energy, and really having drive and wanting to do something. Because I went from not owning a truck to being a company driver to moving up to owning my own truck, and it's just problem after problem after problem after problem. You deal with so many different people that you have to work for and try to get along with all of these different personalities than you, whether they're more negative, maybe some are more positive. I wasn't dealing with the more positive with the trucking industry at all. I just wish I would have started this instead of in my 40s. Imagine if I would have started something like this and practicing and getting good at something like this when I was 20 and actually focused on adventure instead of literal slavery from people that do not even appreciate you anyway. Oh yeah. Man, this is gonna make my life so much better. I'm so glad I'm doing this. I've been wanting to do this. I've had this idea of doing this for a long time. Oh, this is so amazing. Oh my God, look, it don't even move. Yeah, I want to chop something. This is the same kind of wood as that. And that's being in the weather for probably at least a year. It heals up. It hardly gets damaged like a piece of oak. A piece of oak, after a while, it'll start splitting off, breaking off. It'll literally turn itself into firewood after a while. This one, I give it a year or two. This should still be good. Oh yeah. I'm gonna pour some bar oil on here. I think I'm just gonna keep soaking this in bar oil here and there. Maybe we can make it last a little longer. Not that we really need it, it seems like, because the other one was perfect for so long. I think I'm gonna oil it. At least this one time. Maybe every once in a while. Soak this in some oil, that'll definitely protect it. And the end grain, it'll really soak up some oil. The end grain is like straws going all the way down the wood. That's how a tree sucks its water up. Or maybe it'll take it from the leaves and then bring it down the tree. But either way, these are like straws. They soak up whatever you put in it. See, now it looks red. I gotta show you that. See, I'm not crazy, y'all. That definitely looks red, right? I mean, I'm somewhat colorblind. I got problems with colors, but I mean, that looks like red to me. MS-250. This is the first chainsaw I ever bought. And I want to say it's the most reliable saw that I've ever bought. I bought this in my lower 20s. I have no idea how old I was. But probably 22, 23. And I bought this saw. This isn't the first saw I've ever used. It's just the first saw I ever bought for myself. I think the first chainsaw I ever used, I don't really think, it was my grandpa's saw. And it was an electric chainsaw, and I actually still have it in storage. He had it out, and he had a power block out by this barn that he had, and it was laying on the ground. Me and my cousin, we were out there hanging out, just playing or whatever, and I seen this chainsaw. It was a little 2x4, and I was like, man, I'm gonna cut that 2x4. So I picked this saw up, and I didn't realize how much torque it would have. But when I went to cut this 2x4, when I hit the trigger wide open, it jumped up, grabbed my shirt, grazed my stomach, and really upset my mom and my family and my grandpa. My grandpa instantly went out to the barn and just started locking all of his tools up after that. But that was my first experience with a chainsaw. Quite a bit of times when I was growing up using chainsaws. A whole lot with my stepdad going out to get firewood and cutting trees. I even remember him asking me to climb a tree when I was a kid. I mean, I know I was probably older than Elion, but I was just a kid, and he's like, go climb that tree and cut that branch and do this. And so I was like a monkey anyway. So I climb up there with a chainsaw and cut stuff. So I've been doing chainsaw stuff since I was a kid, and carpenter stuff, and being around it a whole lot. So that's kind of where I get this passion from. Yeah, I always held on to this dude. Still runs great. It's just been the most reliable saw I've ever used. And it was the first one I bought, brand spanking new. Let's get in there. We ain't rushing it. But we flipped them and put the pineapple bag on top. Oh yeah, I ain't rushing it at all. It just bounces off. It will not pierce it or stick in it when it's wet. So I might not be able to be cool and stick my axe in there after this oil. I don't know. Once it dries up, I will be able to. But for the time being, it's just going to bounce off. Ah, picked a hard one. A real hard one. Ow! Oh yeah. like it. Oh, that's perfect. Don't even move. Don't even move, man. Dang, right. And look, it still won't stick. I'll wipe the oil off too, look. It will not stick. Love it. Look, even the thin ones stand up. That is perfect. Perfect upgrade. Oh my gosh. That was worth a whole day of my life. For sure. Look at that. Even make kindling. I just gotta lay it there because it ain't gonna stick. Man. Small things in life. Just the small things. Take care of one small thing to make your life better. Just do it. Got a taste of Thai garlic chili pepper sauce. So I'm gonna try this stuff. I love Thai food. I love the flavor of Thai. Something like that. Oh yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I'm down with that. I am more than down with that. So we're gonna soak the bottom a little bit. Wow, this is gonna be very nice. Oh yeah. Get it in. Oh yes. Goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, step there. Oh yes. There we go. Man, we're gonna put it back over there for a little longer. Oh my goodness. Got the potatoes cooking. Some of this Weber roasted garlic and herb in the corn. My goodness. Look at that. Look at that juiciness. It's hot though. Oh. Oh yeah, this is coming off the bone like nothing. Come back here, piece of chicken. We don't care if you're dirty or not. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's gonna be a nice potato. Oh yeah. Ah, it's hot. Throw some corn up in here. Dang. Some garlic corn. Oh, maybe I should have put a little bit of that on there. just fall apart. No problem. Oh my goodness. Oh yes. He's eating him a whole chicken thigh. Boneless. The yummy buddy. It is my turn. The chicken is, it's just perfect. Oh yeah. Pile it up. Let it burn. Dang. Oh yeah.